This is the Lone Cowboy Hour. Thanks for stopping by. Lone Cowboy, I'm doing my best. Lone Cowboy, I go everywhere west. Lone Cowboy, with my old campfire song. Well, we're celebrating the 45th anniversary of the release of the song Wildfire and the album it came from, Blue Sky Night Thunder. And as I look back over some of that material to do episode 3, tonight's episode, I realized some of the songs I hadn't done yet I was kind of avoiding because they sounded kind of hippie, because 70s, that was pretty much in the depth of the hippie period. Late 60s, early 70s, we were all wearing bell-bottom pants and rainbow shirts and all kinds of stuff. But I was a cosmic cowboy. I still wore a cowboy hat and cowboy boots because I'm from Texas. I just couldn't let go of that. So the combination of hippie and the combination of cowboy is what made that whole Austin, Texas thing. But I made this music when I got to Colorado after I left Austin. And a little bit of a shout out here to the guy who made this guitar that I'm playing for this particular song. His name was Randy Wood. He designed a number of my guitars back then. They were designed more for solo playing that had a good bottom end sound, but also a nice high sound. But this one was a 12-string that he designed for me that I still get out once in a while. I just think that it really fits this song really well. This is about the different cycles in your life. And back in that hippie time period, we were all thinking about cycles of the earth, cycles of nature, and people were getting into save the planet, and I still think that's a good thing. I still think we should all be thinking about being stewards of what God made for us here. So this is called Rings of Life. Stronger by circles I grow. Weaker by cycles I die. Letting the symmetry flow. Up from the roots to the sky, fed by the fires of the earth, sweet osmosis, come quench my thirst. Curving a pattern through me, one more ring of life around the tree. I'm moving, improving my view. Claiming my right to the sun, adding on is nothing new. When it all adds up to one, and 3, 4 more points in time. These all become well-spaced lines. curving a pattern through me. One more ring of light around the tree. Round the tree. Ring around the roses, pockets full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Ring around the roses, pockets full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Well, that's my hippie song of the show. I got my 70s looking t-shirt on, which is actually a marvelous piece of art done by an Indian artist named James Shoshone out in Nevada, who happens to be one of the best buckaroos I've ever met too. The guy is an awesome cowboy. But as a Western artist, he's also got no equal. And he did this piece called The Creation of the Horse. And I bought it when I was at the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering at an art show, and I met him and we become friends. Here's a shout out to you, James, and to all your tribe and all your people and all the great Indian cowboys out there in Nevada. Well, another song from the Blue Sky Night Thunder album is one that's a little bit like Wildfire that was on that album. It's called Wild Bird, and I think people always thought of Wildfire as a wild horse that needed freedom, and it is a song about freedom. This is a song about freedom too, and this is about a little sparrow that I found way up in the mountains when I was living in the mountains of California, the San Gabriel Mountains in Wrightwood, California, above San Bernardino. It's a songwriter out there in California for quite a few years. Although I eventually moved back to Texas, I still have great memories of living up in those mountains. And this little bird that I found didn't really have a broken wing. Something had stunned it somehow, or had gotten too wet or something and couldn't fly. I brought that little sparrow home. She had a few red markings on her, so she was more of a rose-colored sparrow, and just a pretty little bird. And so I left her alone. It might have been a male or it was a female. I really don't know. But it's probably a male because it had more of the color on it. That seems to be the way it works in the bird world. And so we got to be friends. We got to be buddies. And then one day, all of a sudden, wings came out and started to fly around the cabin. And I felt like I really ought to let this little bird go. And I opened the door, and the bird flew around a while, and then it flew back in the box, like it wasn't sure if it wanted to leave. And so at least it made me feel good that I had treated the bird well. But I just left the door open. The bird looked at me and looked at that door and looked at that sunlight outside and those pine trees and said, "Yep, that's where I belong. Time to leave. So long, Murph." And out the door that little bird went. And I remember my little boy, Ryan, who was just a baby, was very upset that the bird left because he loved that little bird. But it was a good lesson that sometimes we have to just let things go. And sometimes we have to let ourselves go. We have to just fly away. It's part of life. We human beings, we have a wildness in us too. Anyway, this is called Wild Bird. It was also on the Buckaroo Bluegrass album. That contained just an awesome bunch of bluegrass musicians. You know, John McEwen played banjo on the original version of this. And when I did the Buckaroo Bluegrass album, Sam Bush, Dylan McCurry's son played on it. Just a whole bunch of people were on that were just fantastic musicians. So you could get that version of it on our master collection that we offer as a flash drive, or you can go back and find the original album, which the vinyl, I found out, some copies are now selling for $80 to $100. So I decided to forego buying one of those myself. I've got a few extra copies of that are still unopened myself. Wild bird, I have mended your wing. Now I'm wondering if my cold white hands can let go. This hold on your fluttering heart. I know you're anxious to make a new start. Will you call me from the downwinds, rise and fall back to the ground again? Your heart belongs in the mountains. Wild bird, you've mended my soul, but I still don't know if my songs can soar like your wings. But I will sing tonight this hymn to life and flight. And will you call me from the downwind, rise and fall back to the ground again? Your heart belongs in the mountains. Wild bird, wild bird. Call me from the downwinds, rise and fall back to the ground again. My heart belongs in the mountains. Wild bird, wild bird. Always wondered what happened to that little bird that I found. This is the Lone Cowboy Hour. Now I'd like to introduce to you a good friend of mine that I've invited to be on the Lone Cowboy Hour. He can play lonesome and play by himself and just make a great sound. He was actually in my band for quite a few years. He first came on the band when he was 17 years old and left when he turned, I guess, 21. And I really enjoyed the years that I worked with him. He's out on his own now, living in Nashville, and just a tremendously talented musician. Shaun Richardson, guy plays great fiddle, great mandolin, but guitar is his main thing. So here's Shaun Richardson singing a song called Alone, the ultimate lone cowboy song, I guess. Shaun Richardson.
1, 2, 3. You wake up in the morning side. Let me pour you a cup so you can stay for a while. Look at how the rain falls around this time of day. There's no need to be going. Baby, here's what I say. Don't leave me, baby. You don't have to find a way home, baby. Take it easy. With you, I can't be alone. Don't leave me, baby. You don't have to find a way home, baby. Take it easy. With you, I can't be alone. With you, I can't be alone.
Back in the day, right after I left Austin, Texas, and went to Colorado, I discovered a great recording studio up in Colorado by the name of Caribou Ranch, and I recorded my first album there, Blue Sky Night Thunder, which contained the song Wildfire. Anyway, Caribou Ranch was sequestered way up in the mountains, and we lived in log cabins while we were recording there. Just incredible people recorded there. Billy Joel, Joni Mitchell, Chicago, Elton John. Got to hang out with a lot of those people while I was in and out of Caribou Ranch because I just lived about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And we drive up there and spend a week or two working on the album. As back in the day when you made the whole album and you didn't worry about singles until you got everything finished. So here's to the secret mountain hideouts of the world where you go to find those things out. I'm leaving here tonight. I can't find my place in the light. Secret mountain hideout. It's where I want to stay. Where I can hide my blues away. The secret mountain hideout. That's what I'm talking about. Tonight I'll be crossing the ford. Wanna talk to the Lord. Nail up a board all by myself. All by myself. I'm leaving this crazy scene. You know what I mean. I don't have to dream for nobody else. Nobody else. Oh, what I'm talking about. A secret mountain hideout. Secret mountain hideout. Oh yeah. I'm tired of fighting the stream. I'm gonna have me a Thunderbird dream. The secret mountain hideout. to believe in your secret mountain hideout. That's what I'm talking about. Tonight I'll be crossing the ford, talk to the Lord, and nail up a board all by myself. Yes, all by myself. I'm leaving this crazy scene. You know what I mean? I don't have to dream for nobody else. Nobody else. Whoa, what I'm talking about. Secret mountain hideout. Secret mountain hideout. Secret mountain hideout. Secret mountain hideout. Whoa, what I'm talking about. Secret mountain hideout. Well, to all you independent, self-reliant, independent cusses out there that are a member of my international lone cowboy distanced organization, I wish you the best, and I hope you find your secret mountain hideout. Tonight on the Lone Cowboy Hour, R.W. Hampton received several of these awards, and he's also the voice of the award show, and was the voice when I got this award. He is with us tonight singing the song that's one of my favorites. I asked him to do this because it's all about horses tonight. You know, for me, without horses, there'd be no cowboys. It's just what we do, it's who we are. And as long as there's still a few cowboys out there riding a horse instead of a four-wheeler or driving around in their pickups, there's hope for the American West. I guarantee you that one guy will always be mounted is R.W. Hampton. He's cowboyed in the New Mexico, Texas, and Western country for a long time. He went to Nashville for a while, like I did, to try to make it, and nothing really ever happened for me in Nashville while I was living there, so I came back west. And he did the same thing, and he found his niche as a cowboy singer after getting back home again. So here's a song he wrote about that called Donnie, Could You Catch Up a Horse for Me, the one that I never could ride, because he's going back home, getting away from the commercialized Nashville scene and going back to where he can be a real cowboy singer. Hey, this is nothing against Nashville. I've had a lot of fun there, and it's not all just commercialization there. But they do have a hard time understanding us Westerners. To us, it's not country music, it's country and Western music. And here's one of the greatest proponents of it, R.W. Hampton.
This week we're paying tribute to Wildfire. If I understand correctly, it's been 45 years since that song was released. I'm going to do one I wrote in honor of that. Story of a fella that leaves the ranch country to go to Nashville, only to find out they don't know what to do with cowboy music, so he goes back home. Is that song about me? Well, it sure might be. For 7 years I've been out roaming far across the rolling river, but I'll return and be your lover. Look away, we're bound away across the wide Missouri. I left my home so long ago, I've rambled near and far. Traded my old boots and spurs for a crying moan guitar. What a loss along the way, the good Lord only knows. I ain't sold my saddle yet, and while I still got the time to go, I'm a-singing, Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Jakey snub him up real close, gonna give him another try. Me and Tom will ride the cedar brakes and the wild ones rope and tie. Bonnie Grieve, you're still free, would you be a cowboy's bride? From the Bighorns to Dakota line, where the Belfouche River runs, I rode a many a frozen mile, but I had a lot of fun. I ran the first wild horses there, Lord, I've never been the same. I long to see the sun go down on the Thunder Basin range, singing, Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Jakey snub him up real close, gonna give him another try. Me and Tom will ride the cedar brakes and the wild ones rope and tie. Bonnie Grieve, you're still free, would you be a cowboy's bride? Got a gal that's true to me, she's waited for so long. She wanted nothing more from life than a family and home. First thing in the morning, I'll ride out and see her pa. She and I are gonna settle down at the head of a cottonwood draw, singing, Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Jakey snub him up real close, gonna give him another try. Powder River Tom, let her buck, the Missouri's deep and wide. Bonnie Grieve, you're still free, would you be a cowboy's bride? Donnie, catch a horse for me, you know, the one that I never could ride. Oh, oh, I never could ride. Oh, yeah, never could ride. Lead him up here, Don.
Sometimes it's real, then it feels like a dream, so it seems. Love that can burn and then fade like the sun on the plains. Out on the mesa we rode to the edge, stared at the angry sky. I watched the red dust and violet light in your eyes. And I remember the way that you sat straight on the back of that chestnut stallion. And every evening when daydreams were fading, for an instant we'd go running. With all the dancing horses, black sand bays, dapple grays, sorrels and paints, hoofbeats down the canyon rim, heartbeats racing on the wind, you and me and all the dancing horses, you and me and all the dancing horses. The rain and the mist and your long hair twisting around in the desert wind, like water and fire, truth and desire, enemies and old friends, trapped on the border of two different worlds, like beauty and time as it fades, came to an end when we tried to break rules that don't break. Now I ride in the dark with the North Star leading my stallion. Every night I close my eyes and remember the time we'd go running. With all the dancing horses, black sand bays, dapple grays, sorrows and paints, hoofbeats on the canyon rim, heartbeats racing on the wind, you and me and all the dancing horses, hoofbeats down the canyon rim, heartbeats racing on the wind, you and me and all the dancing horses. Hey, tonight on the Lone Cowboy Hour, it's a special treat for me to have my own son, Ryan Murphy. He's going to do the Lone Cowboy thing from his home in Nashville, Tennessee, from the backyard. And sure do appreciate him sending this video to us. You know, Ryan is the guitar teacher at Nashville School of the Arts. I'm very proud of that. That's one of the best schools in the country for music and anybody who's interested in the arts. He also goes on tour with me, writes songs with me, has produced a lot of my albums, and has albums out in his own right. Here's my son, Ryan Murphy.
Now Diego was rough, he was tough, he was rugged and handsome. He rode like the wind, breaking in holes on the range. When he saw the white Mustang, he spurred his horse down to the canyon. vaqueros in Mexico tell of a Mustang who couldn't be broken by any man living on earth. There's a trail of cowboys, he'd be buried deep in the desert. And the legend of one who left only an old broken spur. With lasso in hand and the Mustang backed into a corner, Diego aimed straight for the head, pulled the rope tight. But the Mustang was strong and Diego was torn from the saddle, dragged through the desert where he disappeared out of sight. All the aging vaqueros in Mexico tell of a Mustang who couldn't be broken by any man living on earth. There's a trail of cowboys he left buried deep in the desert. And the legend of one who left only an old broken spur. The vaqueros searched canyon and mountain for Mustang and rider. They followed the footprints through the desert where they faded away. They found that old spur and a few drops of blood in the canyon where the Mustang and rider are out there, no one can see. All the aging vaqueros in Mexico tell of a Mustang who couldn't be broken by any man living on earth. There's a trail of cowboys he'd be buried deep in the desert. And the legend of one who left only an old broken spur. Diego, oh Diego, the tale of the one who left only an old broken spur.
Well, the third episode of Lone Cowboy has come to an end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed your time sitting around here at the fireside at the Murphy Western Library. Again, I remind you that all the proceeds of this show go to the Murphy Western Institute, which is there to help cowboy singers, cowgirl singers, preserve Western music, Western heritage, Western way of life, and Western history, something that's dear to every person in the country, east and west, north and south. They're proud of that part of America because the cowboy is the symbol of the United States of America. He's our folk hero. We really don't have any other. It's no accident that when Ronald Reagan asked to design the clothing for the Winter Olympics back years ago, of course, the Japanese came out in kimonos and everybody came out in their different folk costumes. The Americans, even though they were a ski team, not at a rodeo, came out with sheepskin jackets and looked like cowboys and had cowboy hats on. That's just who we are as a nation. We've got that cowboy spirit, and it's a little bit of a wild spirit. I'll end the show tonight with what we celebrate, the 45th anniversary of the song Wildfire coming out. And I'd like to tell you that if you go to writingwildfire.com, you can get a free download of me and Amy Grant singing Wildfire, plus 2 other horse songs that are dedicated to the majesty, the power, the beauty, and the fun, and the challenges of a Western lifestyle on horseback. Here's to my old horse Wildfire and all the times we had together. Here's to the song that made my career, came to me in a dream. You know, I always wonder what it was I ate that night before I went to bed when I had that dream, but I'll never write another one like it. She comes down from Yellow Mountain on a dark flat land she rides. On a pony she named Wildfire, a whirlwind by her side on a cold Nebraska night. They say she died one winter when there came the killing frost, and the pony she named Wildfire busted down and stalled. In a blizzard he was lost. Ran calling wildfire, calling wildfire, calling wildfire. So by the dark of the moon I planted, but there came an early snow. I've been a hoot owl, howling outside my window now, 6 nights in a row. She's coming for me, and on Wildfire we're both gonna go. We'll be riding Wildfire, riding Wildfire, riding Wildfire, on Wildfire we're gonna ride, gonna leave side busting behind, get the hard times right on out of our minds. We'll be riding Old horse, your days are numbered. Your race is almost run. But I wouldn't sell or trade you because of all the things you've done. Just what I'm going to do with you sure has got me treed. But I promise you they'll never come and take you away to be chicken feed. You who was once so toppy, so pretty, so proud, so grand, You're called a public nuisance now by the bureaucrats who run our land. They say away with useless horses. Almost makes me weep. Away with useless horses. Put them all to sleep. And I guess you got a bad ankle, old horse. Run the last wolf off this range. And now they'd like to run you off too. My God, some folks are strange. But I'm gonna find for us a pasture over yonder on Bitter Creek. And there you and I are gonna live a life that makes us fat and slick. Some say away with useless horses. Useless old horses, if you please. Hey, they're never going to see that old bad ankle of yours, Wildfire. Because as long as you're on the Rockin' 3M Ranch, you're going to be in grass that's way up past your knees. We'll be riding wildfire, riding wildfire, riding Good night, partners. And remember, there ain't a horse that can't be rode, and there ain't a cowboy that can't be throwed.